All right, Chuck, we are on. We are live.
Hey, what's going on? We are back. We are back. All right. Hello, everyone. We're rolling.
We're rolling. We're on YouTube. I'm on TikTok for a little while. I'm just letting them know to get on YouTube because I'm not gonna hold this phone.
Okay.
But we are on. Yes, we are on streams, YouTube and Facebook.
Okay. Cool. So we got people in.
Let's see. They're coming in.
Cool. Okay. Cool. You're gonna have to show me a couple of things so we can double up on YouTube. No, not YouTube, on TikTok. Just show me what I have to do.
Okay.
So we can move on. Okay. All right. So okay.
So TikTok, we're on YouTube under Patrice L. Stewart. I really just kind of joined so you guys could kind of see again that we're in the lab and then we broadcast onto our YouTube membership platform. So if at any time you all have any questions and you're on TikTok, come over to YouTube and we can answer your questions from there. I'm not really going to be on here long. I'm just really letting you guys know that we were on. But again, it's Patrice L. Stewart on YouTube, and then you can head over there and you can chime in for what we're going to have in store for you today. Chuck, the finance man, is our liaison and speaker on this particular topic, which is this PValley series that we have been doing, right? And so what we've been going over with you all this is our 4th week, Chuck, doing this already?
Yeah, 4th week already.
Wow, right.
We're going to have to do one more day because the last episode is Sunday. So we're going to have to do one more to wrap up everything. So, yes.
Okay. So, and then we are actually, Chuck and I talked about, we're going to actually keep this series up so that way we can do other shows that you guys are not thinking about in a financial point of view. But PValley, I will say, Chuck, off the top, is like one of the best shows that we can actually break down all of these different financial topics. So we'll do a quick recap, you all, for those of you all who missed the last 4 weeks. Chuck is really the leader here with this particular one. This is his baby. And so, Chuck, I got to give you your flowers like you give me your flowers all the time, man. I got to give them to you.
Listen, I'm going to hit you hard today because, all right, got you. Yes, understandable.
So, you want to go ahead and get started, Chuck? Then that way we'll roll on in.
Okay, we're going to roll right into it. Okay, we're going to roll right into it because of the time. So we got an hour, right?
Yes.
An hour, cool. Okay, so all right, so we're going to go into episode 4 of season 2 because we covered everything else. What I would like to do, Patrice, I would actually sit through another interpretation of this show from somebody else that's covering the dancer side. I would like to see their interpretation of the show. And from the gangster side, I would like to see someone talk about that parts that I didn't see.
Okay.
And that'd be cool. I mean, that'd be good for the populace and the people to see different interpretations of the same thing, and knowing that no one is right or wrong. It's just that we're looking at things differently. And you know what? Someone can teach me something about something I don't know about, and I can be like, oh, wow, I didn't see that. Why? Because I'm not looking at it that way. And that'd be real cool. So that'd be a side note. Yeah. So
I like that. That's dope.
Yeah. And because I won't know certain things. I won't know. So now what we want to do is, you guys, we want to pick the next movie or the series. There's a series called Startup that you guys, if you haven't seen it, you got to see it. It's called Startup. It's on Netflix. and actually it was just picked up for the 4th season.
Wait a minute. I think I saw. Is that the one with the tall, dark skinned guy? Yes. I started watching that. I like that.
How far did you get?
I binge watched it. It was so good. I binged watched it. I binge watched it like 2 months ago. So I'm caught up to all the way to the end of season 3. Yes, I took like 2 weeks. Every single day I came home and watched that.
Do you remember the scene when the girl was in the room with the Asian guy and the Russian chick? And Nick and Ronald came in and they were like, what's going on in there? And they were taking the company from her. Oh my gosh. Startup, that's what Startup is all about.
Yeah. That's really what it's all about.
Got it. So that's what it's all. So if you guys haven't seen Startup,
watch some more stuff.
Reach out to Patrice, hit her up, let her know if we're gonna do Startup, let her know we can do movies. Guys, I need you guys, if you're on I don't know how it's just done on Facebook, but if you're on YouTube, comment, share, like, say something. We need to know the feedback on what you guys are taking away from this course that we're doing. It's not even a course, it's just a talk about perceptions of what we're seeing and how we're looking at things through life. Remember, there are no right and wrong answers. It's just we're giving you a different look, a different lens through what we're seeing and what you're seeing so that you can understand some of the things that are going on. So I say that to say this, there are no right or wrong answers. We're just giving you different interpretations because that's what art is, because this is art. Entertainment is art. So we're going to roll right into it. So Patrice, ready? Let me know.
I'm rested.
Got it. Okay. So now we're going to season 4. I'm sorry, episode 4, season 2.
Wait, you're gonna do a quick recap?
Which
one? Don't worry about it. Let's roll. Let's go right into
it. Because I got 3 pages of notes.
Okay, yeah.
You know what they can do to read? All they got to do is go back to the old videos.
True. So any of you guys, there we go. Thank you, Chuck. See,
watch the old videos. That's
the old videos. We did leave up the P-Valley series on the YouTube channel. So again, the YouTube channel is Patrice L. Stewart. So if you are missing anything from the prior weeks, then yeah. All right, Chuck, let's roll.
Yeah, watch the old videos. That's all you got to do. And watch them quick because we're going to take them down.
Yeah.
Just letting you guys know. Watch them quick. Okay, so now we're up to, as I said, episode 4, season 2. Now, what I noticed that they're doing is there are only 2 scenes that are important from my perspective when it comes to this episode 4, because they're building up for the big grand finale. And I noticed that, and there's a lot of things going on.
So, a lot.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do is what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at. Okay. Haley is sleeping at the Pink. She's homeless. She's sleeping at the Pink. Corbin, that's his name, the son.
The son.
We said Corbin, right?
Yeah.
Corbin comes. Corbin is like, chick, what are you going to do? We need this place, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, listen, he went from $500,000 to $1 million. So this is how desperate he is to get this so this deal can go through, because he knows that the leasing deal, they're going to make so much money when it comes to the leasing deal. But the thing is, the Pink, the real estate, Haley is holding them up. They cannot move forward unless they get that quote unquote beachfront property, that waterfront land. So understand, so that's key. So again, what we're looking at is Haley's shrewd business sense of knowing that I know the value of this land. I'm not going to cheat you out of this. It's not going to happen. So you're going to give me my $2 million or it's not going to happen. So now that's the important thing, was the thing of Haley knowing her self-worth, knowing the worth of the value of the real estate, and knowing that she can get 10 million for this. They're trying to cheat her out of it. And if you look at the earlier episodes, Haley saw the information, and Haley saw how Black communities and Black homes were being undervalued, and they were being bought out as opposed to the white homes in the white business who were getting top dollar.
Right.
So understand that. So here's what happens, okay? At the end of that episode, okay, because there were only 2 major episodes. Everything else was kind of fluff. At the end of that, you see at the Pink, Andrew and Haley are in the back of the pink, and you see Clifford in the window listening, right? Clifford and Mercedes walks in. So now Haley is talking to Andrew. Andrew says, I'm going to run for mayor. Now, I want you guys, when we talk about these things, I want you to go back and rewatch some things, because some of the points that we talk about, you have to look at the reactions. So Haley's face is like, you could see it. Her mind is calculating. She's,
Yeah.
oh, you're running for mayor? Oh. And she's calculating because she's doing chess pieces in her move. In her mind, she's like, okay, I see what's going to happen. I see what I got to do. So what she does is she tells him that she's going to sell the pink for X amount of dollars. That's how Clifford finds out that everything is going down the way it is. So now she's admitting to him, and she knows that it's worth $10 million. Andrew knows it's $10 million. So Andrew is surprised. He's like, oh, it's really going down. That's what's happening. And she's like, yes. So what happens is they are admitting to each other their future plans.
Right.
Got it? So they're cohorts. They're moving together simultaneously. And that's when Clifford comes out, and there's the big thing and the big fight with Mercedes, and they're talking about. But understand, what I want you guys to deal with is this. Haley, as I always said, she is a shrewd businesswoman. She understands the game.
Yeah.
She's not going to be undervalued. The other people around her don't understand what's going on. And I'm not saying it's their fault. It's just that I have data and information that will help combat this poverty and this inequity when it comes to business, but you guys don't see it. Haley sees it. And
right.
That's why Haley dropped to 250.
Exactly. Right. She knew the value.
Haley and
looked at it at that point. When she did it, we was like 250. But like you said, she had already seen what was on Andre's computer. She already knew the value of the property. So she knew if she came in and swept it up, like you said, she's now in control, and now she can get her hands in that money.
Right. So there's a line at the end, right? So now Andrew asks Haley, you always wanted to flip this place. She says, of course, wouldn't you? She has no emotional attachment to the building. Now, you got to understand, there are two places. There's the real estate, the land, and there's the pink, the building. So don't get confused over what's what. The casino people, Promised Land, they want the land. They don't want the building.
Right.
Clifford wants the building. That's more important to him, because what happens is, you see in the next episode, what happens is you see him growing up in the pink. You see that. So now that's key. Okay. So now, funny thing is, Andrew says, you cold-blooded. Her response was, I'm a businesswoman. All of this is in that scene. She's a businesswoman. There's no emotion to this. No. I know what it is. I know what I want. My investment. I invested 250, a quarter mil. I want X amount back. That's the value, and I'm sticking to my guns. Okay, got it? So now, again, there's the big fight, and that's when Mercedes said something to Haley, and it was like, and I'm thinking, you know what? I wonder if Haley did something to that dude that was the baby's father, the one that got killed. I wonder if she did something to him.
Because remember, something like maybe conned him out some money or something.
We don't know, right? I don't know.
Right. We remember that when they first started it, they just showed them fighting.
Right. So we don't know what's going on.
Exactly what happened.
But I want you guys to understand, when a snake is a snake is a snake, it's a snake. So don't get confused like, oh, maybe it's not. No. If the nature of the beast is the beast, don't get confused. That's what the beast is. See, we think it's pretty. We think it's sexy. No, the nature of the beast. And what you have to do, again, we have to go life and business. We have to look at people. We have to look at the way they act. We have to look at the way they perform. And we get caught up because we're like, well, I didn't expect them to do that to me. That's the nature of the beast. Why do you not expect them? That's your fault. If you don't think that this person that's been shasty and doing things to other people are not going to do it to you, that's your fault. Got it? We're
And that,
talking.
yeah, and that's the reality of it, because a lot of times when you haven't matured there yet, that's exactly what you say. Well, oh, they do that to them, not me. But realistically, like you said, no, this is who they are.
Right, who they are. Right, who they are, nature of the beast. So now the next scene is Andrew goes to his uncle's house. And remember, the uncle had a woman and a newborn child. I'd say maybe 6 or a year old, that child. But what happened? She got kicked out the house.
She sure did.
How?
He
Because
left the house to Andrew.
the, the power of the will, uncle left the house to his nephew. Didn't care about the mom, didn't care about the baby. What does that tell you? One, we talk about the four pillars of wealth. One, protect yourself. Okay, pay yourself first. Two, live within your means. Three, protect yourself. Four, send your money out to grow. That woman did not protect herself when it came to her living her lifestyle or whatever. She depended on somebody to take care of her. And at the end, she had nothing to say. She had to leave the house. And you know what's slick? Andrew didn't care at all.
He sure didn't.
Andrew didn't say, you know what, you can stay here. You know, we got a big enough house. You know, no, she was walking out the door. And what did he do? He made the phone call talking about this is going to be my new office for my mayoral run.
Campaign.
And you got, okay, now again, what we have to do is we have to look at the protection part of what should she have done to make sure. These are things that you want to do when you are in relationships. And I'm talking relationships when it comes to anything that you're doing with people. You need to protect yourself. Make sure that if anything goes wrong with this deal that we're doing, whatever it is, how am I protected? Can I back out when I need to back out? When is the point that I need to be able to pull myself away? What happens if the deal falls through? Am I going to be left with nothing? That lady and her child were left with nothing. And that's key, because understand that's what it's all about, is the protection part. So that's that episode. So we're going to go to season 5. Season 5 was all that season about Mississippi. Remember about how she grew up and how she got,
how she ended up meeting her child's father, and
right. And that was kind of strange, because the thing about what was funny about that whole episode that I saw was Mississippi was very intelligent. She's very intelligent. But when she became the stripper, she just ghettoed down. And I'm like, what happened? What happened in between? It just seems strange to me. But it showed the human part of her development of how she became Miss Mississippi. So that's what that was about. Her father was dirty and the mom is like, crazy.
Well, the other part that I saw out of that, Chuck, too, was how she became so attached to, I can't remember his name, but the child's father.
Right.
And kind of how what he uses that control factor over her with the compliments and the so-called protection, right? So like he defended her with that first guy, the football player that was talking back to her, right? So that's kind of how she fell in love, which is a lot of us do that as women, right?
Yes, good point. Good point.
He's protecting me. But then, like you said, at some point in a relationship, she lost herself or where she started at, right? And then now this is start of some of the side effect that we see today, which again is relatable.
Because exactly what you said, when you go back to, I think it was the fight inside of the pink.
Derek, okay, that's his name, right? Thank you.
The fight inside of the pink. And remember, she was laying. She collapses every time there's confusion. She collapses. She falls. And Diamond came. That remember what you just said. The same thing. Diamond came, held his hand out, and saved her. And then what did she do? She kissed him. That's what you just said. That's that dynamic that we have to look at and go like, okay, what's going on here? So anytime somebody saves you, that's what you do. So this is something, and I would love to have somebody do P-Valley from a mental health aspect, because that'd be cool. I would learn so much stuff from that. So yes, so I just wanted to point that out. Okay, so that's what that. So now we're going up to episode 6. Okay, Haley crashes their party. Right, there's a party, a big party for the people of the casino, Promised Land. Haley crashes the party. She wears that red wig and the dress. Here we go with the color red again. Remember what I talk about that red?
You say that.
That red, that
Yeah, you keep keeping that red. They keep keeping that red with her. You right. I didn't pay attention to that one.
yeah. So now here's what happens, right? So Corbin meets the white guy Bill. They're all standing around and they're trying to kick Haley out. So what happens is Corbin tells Andrew to take Bill into the cigar room, right? So they can talk about the casino, the project. So now what's happened is they're escorting Haley out. But remember, Haley is right there. So she heard that. And she's like, okay, they're going into the room. Okay, all right, they're going to talk about this project. Haley's mind is like, I need to be in that room. And this is what I want you guys to understand when it comes to business. Sometimes you have to be in the room to understand what's going on. If you're not in the room, deals are being made and you know nothing about it. So Haley is like, I got to be in that room. So what does she do? They kick her out. But what happens? The next scene, she's standing outside, and who pops up? The lady comes out, Miss Batson, the white lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the white lady, she's like, and watch what Haley do.
One and stuff.
She moves right in. Miss Batson thinks that she's the help. Miss Batson gives her the fur wrap. She takes it. She's like real pleasant. I mean, what? Okay, I shouldn't say that. What does the serpent do? The serpent is real pleasant. The serpent is like, hey, how you doing? So Haley takes the wrap, and then what happens is she passes it behind Miss Batson, like, here, take this.
Take this, right.
Right. So Miss Batson is like, get me a rum and coke without the coke, blah, blah, blah. So they go into the room together. So Haley is like, I need to be in that room. So she finagled her way right into the room. So when the door opened up, they weren't going to say anything because Miss Batson, you realize, is the lady with the money and the lady with the power.
Right.
Case in point, what does that mean? How bad and how awesome you think you are, there's always somebody that's higher than you. Just remember that. So you may think you have the power, but always remember that there's always somebody that can do whatever they want. So she comes in, Miss Batson comes in, she sits down, but what's slick was when the waiter brought the drink in, you got to look at what Haley did. Haley took the drink from the lady and she walked over to Miss Batson and sat on the couch and gave her the drink. All of these things might not mean anything to you, but you have to understand that what we're looking at is what Haley is doing. She is making sure that Miss Batson is calm and cool with her and sees her and making sure that she's in the room. So it's like, I'm going to make sure that this woman feels comfortable.
I was just about to say that.
I start speaking because remember, as soon as Haley started speaking, when Haley did something so cool. Haley was like, listen, I'm the one that owns
the pink.
I own it, right? So now she's like, they're trying to get me or stiff me out of my deal, knowing that, and she turns to Andrew and says, how much is it worth, Andrew? Out of Andrew's mouth, he says 5 million. No, sorry, 10 million. So it's like, oh, so wait a minute. I don't have to say this. I have your man, the person you hired, telling you the value of
the property.
So you're not hanging this from me. You're hanging it from your guy. This is the guy who did the work. This is the guy who did the whole prospectus. This is the guy who did the whole value. This is the guy who did the request for proposal. All of that. He did it. He knows the value. So when he says 10 million, oh, okay. So now let's talk. Got it? So what happens is all of this. So she's like, okay, you're the one. She said, what she said, yo, you're not the help.
Right.
You're not the help. Oh, okay. So, okay, I see what's going on. So then what happened, Miss Batson offers 5 million, the whole thing, blah, 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 blah. But again, what happened is, Haley, you got to watch what she's doing. She is, there is a book, if you guys ever read a book called 48 Laws of Power, okay? Awesome book, a top-selling book. But there's another book called The Art of Seduction, written by Robert Greene, same book. You guys have to understand the art of seduction because it's not all about power all the time. It's
No,
about the seduction.
the
So
seduction and
now,
position.
how do you get people to feel comfortable with you? How do you get people to open up to you? How do you get people to give you information and data that's going on? You guys, I want you to look at the way Haley is playing Andrew. She's seducing Andrew left and right, and Andrew doesn't even see it. I see it. Andrew doesn't see it.
He doesn't see it right. We see it clearly.
No, I said, got it. So that's what happened. So now all of that is said and done. Okay. But what's cool is that after all of that is done, when Miss Batson is about to leave, Corbin is like, Miss Batson, do we have your sign off for the backing or the support of Andrew for mayor? And she's like, I don't care who's the mayor, as long as they don't get in the way of my casino deal.
Exactly.
She doesn't care.
She doesn't care.
Got it? All she wants is casino deal. So she'll do whatever she has to do. What does that tell you? There are people in positions that they don't care who's in charge. They don't care. Prime example. President Clinton ran on a platform of he wasn't going to raise taxes. President Clinton wins. What happened about 2 or 3 weeks, maybe about a month after President Clinton won? The Fed, I shouldn't say the Fed, the federal bank was like, okay, the United States owes us taxes. We want it. So what did President Clinton have to do? He had to raise taxes. Got it? So you have people who are like, I don't care who's in power. I don't care who's calling the shots. I want my money.
Right.
So I want you guys to understand that. So people think that they're in charge, but when it comes down to the purse, that's who's in charge.
Exactly.
All these laws are being made, all these things, all these promises, but when it comes down to the money, they're like, I don't care. Am I going to get my investment back? I want my money back. Okay. I funded you for this project. I want that back. So, and that's funny because if you're looking at it, it's like, who is this lady? Because they really didn't go into her that deep yet. So I'm hoping that they expose who she is and they show us who she is. So, the way she said it, she says, she said it because I wrote it down. I don't give two shits about who's mayor as long as they do not get in the way of my motherfucking casino.
Right.
That's what she said. Got it?
Right.
I tell you. Okay. So now, okay, so understand that. So now, okay, who is this lady? She's the shot caller. She's the big baller. She's the one that everybody's answering to. So
Right.
now the next scene is this is here we go with Haley again. The next scene is Andrew in his house, upset on the phone, talking to Corbin, blah, 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 blah. So now he's upset, and Haley is sitting in the living room. What's going on? So now, this is what you talked about, Patrice, when she crawled. Because now Andrew's upset. Oh, you this, you that, you don't care, blah, 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 blah.
You coming in messing up my stuff.
Right. Get out. La, 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 la. What's she do? She goes to the door, turns around. What do you want? What do you want? I want you to crawl. No, he said, I want you to get naked. Take the dress off. She drops the dress. Get naked. Okay, crawl. She crawls. She's disarming Andrew. Andrew doesn't know what the hell is going on. And let me tell you something. If life and business, you can disarm women, you can disarm a man. You just gotta know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, I can't help you. I'm just letting you know. So that was it because she did that, and what he was okay. After that he was like, okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So he was all mad at her, and then she put it on him, and it's like, but like you said last week, Patrice, you had the power. She was like, you had the power. Because what's happening is Andrew is having doubts about him being able to win and him running. And Haley's like, oh no, I have to build you back up
Right.
because I need you to make sure that this deal goes through. Because if I know if you're mayor, I know the deal is going to go through. I'm going to get my $10 million, then I'm out. You see? So now what we're looking at is we're looking at the seductress again, doing her role, playing her role. And again, you guys have to remember she's doing what she has to do to make sure that she secures that
It's
$1 million. That's what
money.
she's
Yeah.
doing. Now, I might be wrong. But we'll see in the end what's going to happen. We'll see what's going on. Okay. So now let's jump to something that has nothing to do with financial literacy, nothing to do with money. And this is important because I want to talk about this real quick. In that same episode is when T killed himself. That same episode. And it's a touching episode because it's if you don't drop a tear or something, you are not human.
For real.
Human.
I think I cried so much.
Right. I'm going to tell you guys from a point that let's look at what's going on. They're in the car, and that whole episode, T got what he wanted. T got his little date with Little Murder. Remember, he got that date when they were, all those things that he wanted to do because we all know that something was going on. T was in love. We got it. We're adults here. We can talk about that. But the thing was, T was still that little boy in pain, and he never healed himself. And that's what was going on. And Teak was hurting inside. He was in the darkness when he went back to the house and he opened the door, the little boy in the room, that was Sam. He was always in the darkness. And when you listen to him, he was like, the light is gone. He was like, the light is gone. And you're listening to him. And the part that got me was Little Murder. He was like talking. And he said, we got money to get. He's begging. He's like, yo, we got money to get. We got houses to buy. We got dreams to build, babies to make. And he's talking. He's like, don't do this. He's like, and the part that got me was he was like, I see it for you.
Yes.
And it's like, don't listen. I see it for you. You might not see it, but I see it for you. And it's like, don't do this. So I want you to understand that there are people out there that if you don't have people like Little Murder in your corner when you're doing your business, when you're growing, when you're developing, when you're trying to develop these concepts, when your back is against the wall and you don't see the light, you got to have somebody like a Little Murder in your corner. Because when you need somebody to be like, yo, motherfucker, I see you. I remember I see you. We got shit to do. Okay? Don't do this. And when he did it, it was like, and it was so moving because sometimes when we don't see it, we need somebody to remind us who we are.
Yep.
We need somebody to remind us who we are. You got to get one or two people in your corner like that. That's part of that. I don't care what you pay them. I don't care if you don't pay them, but you need people like that in your life. And the reason why I say that, I'm looking at it because I have people like that in my life. And I want you guys to understand this. So, and I wanted to talk about that. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with financial literacy. It was just the moment. I don't want you guys to think, oh, T just shot himself. No, there's a dynamics going on there where it's like Little Murder saw the future. And Teak was part of that. And he was telling Teak, listen, I can't do this without you. I need you. We still got shit to do.
Right. But Teak had already been in the dark for so long by him being in that jail, for 10 years. Little Murder was out there and everybody comes home. He comes home and everybody's moved on and doing their own thing. Like Little Murder, he's got somebody. I think he mentioned somebody else, kind of moved on. Like he said it seemed like everybody moved on.
Yes, right.
And mentally, that's almost like a soldier coming home from war.
Yes.
right? And then not being able to provide for himself or his family and being beat down by the system when you done went over here and fought for this country, right? So it's similar when it's like he was in a battle. You could see it that he was battling in his mind
Yes.
and he just was fed up and he was tired.
Yeah, he was fed up. He was tired. Like he said, I don't see the light. He was like, I'm tired. I don't see the light. And Little Murder was screaming, I see it for both of us.
Right.
And it's like, oh my gosh. So my Patrice, I see it for both of us. Got
Oh,
you got it?
yeah.
Okay.
Because you definitely are one of my little murders.
Okay. Now, um, okay, so now we're gonna go to and I wanted to talk about that because that was crucial, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that didn't go over anybody's head and the whole thing, blah blah blah. So now we're gonna go back to financial literacy. Okay, number 7, episode 7. That's when young Ernestine, you see her dancing and singing, and you see Clifford growing up in the pink. You see the generations of the pink. That's what's going on. So it's the memories.
Right.
This is what Clifford is holding on to. You see the mother for the first time. No, that was the second time because you saw the mother when um, Ernestine was going into the lake. You saw the mother. Okay, she saw the mother. But here you see the mother and you see all the things that Clifford is clinging to and holding on to. And Clifford gets into an argument with Haley. And Haley is clear on selling this. She's like, I have no kind of emotion to it. I'm going to sell it. You can actually move it, do whatever you want. She's not vested in the memories of that building. Clifford says, this is the only thing that anyone has ever given to me. If he loses that, he's lost everything. Because as you see in the upcoming episodes, he's falling apart. He's crying. Ernestine is sick. She's in the hospital with grandma. All these things, everything that he was clinging to that he's had, he's losing it. And he's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And all these things.
I'll have a breakdown in a minute.
Right. And there's an emotional toll. So it's like, what do we do? So you have to look at it that way. But again, when we look at Haley, Haley doesn't care. She's crystal clear. She's like, I don't have what you have. All I see is a business investment. Patrice talked about this last week and the week before when people were selling their grandparents' home because they didn't have the memories, the grandchildren didn't have the memories of the house. And I tell you something, I remember when they tore down my grandmother's house. I was heartbroken. There was a hole that was torn out of me because this was the house that I grew up in. And the memories, I'm like, oh, one of the things that I have on my to-do list, my bucket list, is at some point in time to rebuild that same house because that's where the memories come in. That's where I got the scar on my chin. That's where this happened. This is where all these things. And it's like, wow. So what you feel and what you think, somebody else is not going to feel that way. So when it comes to a business deal, when it comes to a real estate deal, when it comes to anything, you have to understand that you may have all the emotion, but someone else doesn't.
Exactly. Oh,
They
that was so well said, Chuck.
thank you. Some they don't they're she remember Haley is a corporate raider. And what do corporate raiders do? They come in, they look at the books, they don't look at the employees, they look at the books. And they're thinking, how can I liquidate this? Split it up, I'll sell portions off, and then how much can I maximize on my return? That's what Haley's doing. She's coming in, she's looking, remember, she doesn't care about the employees. She's thinking, how can she split up this and make her money and get out of there? And that's key. So that's what you have to understand when it comes to business. And remember, when it comes to business, and Patrice, you can help me with this. When it comes to taxes and business, there's no emotion. There's nothing on there that says, how do you feel when you put in that application? Am I correct, Patrice?
No, you 100%, and that's what people need to understand.
Yeah. Are you okay today?
Yes.
How do you? So I want you to understand that. So now, okay. You know what? I didn't get the I didn't get the grant. I didn't get that because I was black. Okay, I understand that. I got it. But understand when you're looking at it, the question is everything correct? Patrice, if everybody, I want everyone in the room to look at the call Patrice did yesterday with the sister on taxes. On what was it, Patrice? The yesterday's
On the bill, the new PPP bill, pretty much.
the new. I want you guys to go back. I'm not going to talk about it. I want you guys to go back and I want you guys to watch it because there are things okay. You guys have to get into the lab because there's something called membership has its privileges. There's going to be so much information, and I keep harping on this. There's going to be so much information that you guys are going to be dropped. I mean, jewels. They were dropping. Patrice and the sister were dropping crazy jewels, and I'm like, wow, it's just amazing what's going to happen and what's going down the road. And I'm not going to talk about what was the content. I want you to go back and I want you to go and take a look. And anything that comes forward that Patrice and the lab is dropping, you guys, you want to join the lab, you want to get into the lab. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm ecstatic and I'm excited. Membership has its privileges. Remember that. Membership has its privileges. And I'm proud to be a member of the lab. So yeah. All right. So now we're going to jump to number 8, episode 8. Next week we're going to recap and we're going to go over episode 9 and episode 10 next week. And we're going to, it's all of it should all tie together after the last episode. So we're going to have one more. So next is going to be real exciting. So just wanted to let you guys know that. So I know that they're gearing up for something major because we don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know.
There's the mayoral election. There is the ratification of the pink and the casino, if the public is going to accept the casino. And there are a couple of other things going on. So now, so what we have to do is this. And episode 8, because it's getting tense now. Haley goes to meet Miss Batson in the hair salon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys remember, what did the lady say? Shanae, your store is down the block, your hair salon. Purely.
Yeah, she immediately put the race card on her. She did.
Yeah. $2. Yeah. Oh, really? Okay, got it. Haley, what? Okay, I forgot. She wasn't wearing red. She wasn't wearing. She was wearing. Okay.
She had brown hair because remember she said, "Oh, I didn't." She said, "I didn't almost recognize you, but I like the brown on you."
But remember, she had red bottom shoes. That red again.
That red. Okay.
Red bottom shoes. Okay, but Miss Batson was real. You think Haley's real? Miss Batson is like, listen, your value is slowly decreasing. I'm telling you $5 million. That's what she said. You're not going to get the 10. And Miss Batson says, listen, you might not have the time that I do. Because if they vote not to get the pink, if they vote not to build a casino, all I got to do is wait for the next vote. Can you hold out that long?
And she really can't.
All right, she can't.
Yeah, she can't.
Like, listen, the value, you think you have value. I'm offering you whatever, but you're not going to get 10. So we don't know what's going to happen with that. But remember,
a lot.
Okay, but remember, Haley has to make sure that she gets the 10 million for that, or she's going to get nothing. Okay. We find out that Andrew's father is still in prison, and Andrew again has another crisis. Remember, he has a crisis. All right, fine. He's talking about quitting. What happens?
He says she has an idea that's going to bring him back.
Hold on. Who knocks on the door? Who knocks on the door? Haley. Whenever he has a question, whenever he has a conscious issue, when he's like, I'm ready to quit, who's the seductress?
The seductress.
She got the moonshine. She's like, la. And if you look closely, she calls him a pussy or something. Like, look, dude, stop. Haley, okay. Haley can be good or Haley can be bad. It depends on what the purpose is. So this is what you have to be careful with. But what Haley is doing again, she's like, okay, Andrew, I see Andrew needs a boost. Let me like they're on the floor, and what did she do? She crawls over to him again, and it's all and she's building him back up. But he is like, oh my gosh, he doesn't know. And I'm hoping that they get together, hoping, but I don't think so because I would be a fool to think that she is because of how I see how Haley operates.
Yeah. Plus, she's planning on leaving. So, you know what I mean? Like, she's still her ultimate goal is to leave once she gets this money.
Got it. So now, what's the purpose of her staying? She can't stay. It makes no purpose because remember, the mayor's still married,
Exactly.
not divorced. So he's still married. So that's what we have to look at. So Haley is securing her position and she's making sure that the sale of this whole thing happens so that she can get her 10 million. She's going to break off Uncle Clifford his portion, and then she's going to take the rest and she's going to disappear. That's what is going to happen. What I did notice is that I have a different respect for Mercedes now because what I watched again was the relationship she had with her daughter. She has with her daughter, and she is so adamant on getting that dance space so she can stop stripping.
Yeah.
She can get her daughter back. So
Daughter.
all of this, what she's doing is to get her daughter back, and that's the dynamics of one of the episodes in the show. It's like, okay, this is not something that's the human part. This is not something she does for the money. She's doing it so that she can do this and get her daughter back. And
Her daughter.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's episode 8, and that's it. One thing that I have to do is I have to. Part of the question is, and I want to go on record. Part of the question was, I was always confused where the money went. All the money. Now remember, there are two pinks. There's the one in the day that's looks like shit, and then the one at night that looks like Studio 54 with all the lights and all the poles and all the flashing money and all that stuff. Blah blah blah. So I want to go on to say I was curious where the money. I've always asked this, and my lady told me something that I didn't even know, and I have to give her 100% credit. She said, "Charles, you don't see it." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "It's going to the outfits and the clothes." And I'm going like, wow, wait a minute. I'm like, okay, you know what? You're absolutely right. I'm like, wow, all that money is going to clothes. Now, I'm not saying that it might, because what's the name? The sister that was playing the Russian roulette, she walks in, she has a Versace belt and the whole outfit. Now, I don't know if all that was real, but if you're looking at it, and ladies, I don't know how much a wig costs, but they wear a lot of wigs. I don't know the price of some of that stuff, but they wear some really, really flashy clothes. So I can understand that when it comes to the opulent part. Financially, when it comes to financial literacy, that's not smart.
Not.
But now the financial literacy part, when it comes to financial literate, Haley is the one because what she did, she took her money, she washed it, like you said, Patrice, and in the alcohol whole thing, and then she invested it into real estate. So she's the smartest one out of all of them when it comes to money, because remember, she is a corporate accountant. So she understands what's going on and what's happening. So yeah, so that's what it all boils down to. So we have 2 more episodes, and we're going to see. Well, actually, we have 1 more episode, and we're going to see what's going to happen and all that good stuff. So yeah. So any questions we have?
No questions. A young lady, Ebony, mentioned that she says, yeah, but I think she does value family because it's suggested that she's pregnant. And that could possibly change things. So we'll see.
Okay, I can see that. Um, I can see that, but I can see it, but I don't agree with it because it wasn't a planned parent, wasn't a planned pregnancy. We
Yeah.
found out it wasn't planned. It was something that happened. Yeah, if she valued it, Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
See, because we don't know, because she hasn't told him. Remember, she said she needs to talk to him.
And remember, it's going to be twins.
That.
Remember, it's going to be twins because that chick said something about twins or two. So remember that?
Yeah, in the stall room, she did bring that up. So I know you're going to go more over the more recent episode next week. So this week we were catching up on pretty much up to 8. 9 and 10, when we meet back next week, we'll go over kind of both of those at one. We usually do kind of 2 shows in one,
right?
For the new people. Because this is the 4th week we're talking about this.
We didn't realize that there was going to be one more episode at the end of our thing, so we got to add one more of our episode so that we can actually finish up and then move on to the next one. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they're gonna do. Are they gonna keep Grandma here? You know, what are they gonna do with? You know, I don't think we're gonna know everything. I think they're gonna leave us hanging with a lot of that stuff. Right. But we'll see. We'll see, because they got to leave us wanting more to come back for the next season. But yeah,
that's true. But and again, we got to see what's gonna happen. And there's some other things that are going on. But I really would like to see how this is going to be played out and how Haley is going to pull out of this. Is she going to get the deal? And she might, she might not get it. And that might be the draw for us to come back next season to see what's going to happen and how she's going to move.
Yeah. Because I think if they did it, if they gave everything the way that it is, it's not going to be no more PValley, right? So if they give her the money and give her what she wants and she try to leave, like, I think it's going to be a lot of cliffhangers. So yeah, like you said, we'll see exactly kind of how they do it. But I also kind of think she really, from the outside looking in and knowing that she kind of needs that money, I think she should have took that $5 million. But I know she wants to maximize it out as far as what is so-called worth, right? But I don't know. I think like the moment that she got that deal, because you went from $1 million to additional $4 million.
Right.
So you have definitely quadrupled 25 times your initial investment of $250,000. But I do know she also has to pay Clifford 33% of that. So maybe that's why she's going so hard for the 10.
And probably, I think she's going hard. I think she's going hard because she knows that it's worth that much. I really think, because remember, she saw the prospectus, she saw the paperwork, she saw the value of it. So it's like, if you don't buy it, somebody else will.
Now, maybe that's a spin they'll bring. Maybe they'll bring in a different casino buyer who would be willing to give her more of the money, because that is just that lady and Bill that are trying to buy that property. But as of right now, they're not talking about other people. But if the casino really is coming, other developers and land people have to know and understand. What
it's called risk versus reward, reward versus risk. She's risking a whole lot for a great reward.
Great reward, yeah.
And as you said, Patrice, you would have taken the 5. I would have taken the 10.
You would wait to the 10? You would wait like her for the 10?
I'd have taken the 10. Because risk versus reward, that's just me. And I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just we're made up a little bit different. Women are better at these things than men, because women are more, they see and they make better decisions. Men will let things ride. Women will be like, oh no, let me take what I got, because that's secure, I know it, and I'm happy, I'm fine with that. Men will let stuff ride a little bit longer, and then we lose it all, and then we come home, baby, I lost all the money. How'd you lose all the money? I was up and then I was down. Well,
that's me. Because I don't play with that casino, Chuck. My friends be talking about me all the time. I'll take $20 out. When that $20 gone, I'm like, no, I'm not spending another 20, 30. Like, I'm not doing it. And if I won 50, okay, I'm taking my $50 so I can get my $30 because I'm not I'm not that
I'm boring at the casino. I'm boring because I hate losing money. I'm like, I'm not losing no money. You know, like you said, that $20 once it's gone, I'm so now we got another 7 hours waiting until the bus go back home. I need something to do. I mean, that's me because I don't like losing.
yeah.
This is why I tell people if you ever see me gamble or you ever see me doing something, it's because I know something other people don't.
Okay.
I know someone, and I'm like, oh no, I'm so. But that's one of the key issues when it comes to women and men is that you find that women, when it comes to investing, they are much better in the long term because they know how to take stuff off the table. That's what women do. Men, again, we do think we don't take stuff off the table. And that's how we do it. So it's not a thing of right or wrong. It's just we made up different, which
But
is
Haley is a different kind of woman as well.
really
Because she wants the 10 like you. I'm a more frugal, I'm paying attention to this account. But again, she's a corporate accountant. I'm an accountant. I'm not a corporate accountant. But
right.
I get, but I'm like, yeah, when she told her that, I said, ooh, Haley, now, okay, now you going
Now, Patrice, remember, Haley has nothing to lose. She's lost everything already. Do you see the difference? She's lost everything. It's like
you saying like the 250 just let it she already counted that up.
she listen. It's what else? What am I going to lose? Everything is riding on this. So she's going for it, and I respect her for that.
I respect her for it. I respect her for it. But yeah, when she said that, I was like, girl, bye. I about would have took that money and been gone.
Right. Right. Yeah. Understandable. Got it. But she's like, oh no, I
I
say
want what it's worth. Yeah.
$1 million. So
Yeah.
what are we learning from that? Are you committed to your cause? And
Mm.
let's talk about for the next couple of seconds. Let's talk about you and your commitment. Let's take the money off the table. Are you are you committed to your hopes and your dreams?
Mm.
Are you committed to your cause? I'm not talking about anybody. I'm talking about your cause.
Yours.
You're willing to do what you have to do to make your hopes and dreams come true. That's what Patrice and I talk about. That's what we talk about when it comes to the lab. These are the things that people don't understand unless you went through it. So when I hear Patrice tell her story of what she went through, I'm like more humble to be like, you know what? That's where I have to, that's what I have to do to get where I need to be like Patrice. Then I need to learn that lesson. And you guys don't know Patrice the way I do, but I want you guys to understand that that's the part that only you and God see. That's the part when you'll get quiet and there's nobody around and you're questioning yourself. Do I really, really want this?
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that nobody sees. That's the part where you're on your knees or you're doing what you're doing and you're like, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. But that's when you call little murder, and murder's like, I see it for both of us. Get up, come on, stop playing.
Come
We
on.
do. We got homes to buy.
Right.
That's what you need. You need that cheerleader in your corner because there are going to be times and moments where you're going to be like, listen, I don't want to do this no more.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this no more. I'm grateful that I got somebody in my life that's my backbone and my support. I'm grateful because there are times when I'm like, I'm not answering the phone. I don't want to. They need to talk.
Right.
All right, okay, okay, okay. Because but understand that when you have that person in your life, and it's like, you know what, that person is invaluable. There's no amount of money that you will spend to do anything to hurt and sever and damage that relationship.
Right.
And I just want to share that with you because understand that what's going to happen is just like we learned yesterday that if you are in business, if you don't have in your mind in business that you are going to be audited, you're a fool. In your mind, if you have a business, you have to constantly think that you are going to be audited. So, in the process of thinking that way, you are going to make sure that everything you do is correct because you're going to be audited. It might not be this year. Am I correct, Patrice? It might not be next year. It might not be year 3, but you are going to be audited.
And even if you don't, you just always want to be prepared, right? That's the thing. That's the thing we're saying is you don't like we always, and like the term I used to say was like you don't want to wait. You want to stay ready. You don't want to have to get ready, right? So and that's the biggest part of even with this is staying prepared. Kind of what we iterated with as far as like me, how I feel about Uncle Clifford. Like, if this place was so freaking important to you and you have all of these memories and it was passed down to you, it should have been more important for you to be prepared to be able to keep the paint. It should have never been on the auction block. Even with Uncle Clifford, you see, he walking around with a Birkin bag and all this other stuff. Like, dude, you just lost your whole, you know what I'm saying? Like priorities, like the glitz and the glamour of the facade. Like we talked about how a lot of them are living stripper to stripper because, dance to dance, I'm going to say, versus check to check.
Right.
They like the young lady on this most recent one was crying about paying her bills. And it's like, what are you all doing with your money? Because remember too, that lady that's back there she's selling G-strings for $5 and $10. It's not like they paying an arm and a leg for the G-string that's on them on the pole.
I didn't even talk about that.
Okay.
I didn't, because it's like, and what's her name? The Russian roulette. When she pulled out the money and gave it to her, but I'm behind in my bills. I got to pay my rent, car. And I'm like, what are you doing with your money? Again, the priority thing. It's like, what? I don't get it.
You know what I noticed too with people who in the cash industry, and even with some of the people that I know and some of my clients, I've had to train them and talk to them and say that, like, people with like that drug dealer mentality, people who deal in cash, they just feel like I'm gonna just get more tomorrow. They never feel like it's gonna stop. Like none of the drug dealers ever thought that it was gonna stop, like that the drug game was gonna dry up, right? So I think the strippers and the hairstylists and the barbers and other people that's in cash industries, I think that that's unconsciously or subconsciously what they think is, oh, it's cash, I'll get it again tomorrow. Right. But what if you can't get it again tomorrow? Nobody thought about that. Like with COVID, your whole barbershop got shut down. Now you can't work now at this point. Now what you gonna do?
You know what was funny? What you just said about the G-strings. Haley told the woman, gave her some money, said, go down to Rainbow and get some stuff.
Yep.
I don't know Rainbow that much, but I know Rainbow is different from Victoria's Secrets.
Yes, big difference.
There's a price difference. I know that there is a big price difference between buying lingerie at Victoria's Secrets as opposed to Rainbow. So what is the value? It boggles my mind. It boggles my mind. But here, when we're going back to financial literacy, is understanding profit and loss.
Yep.
Standing business. Are strippers independent contractors?
Yeah.
I don't know. So if you're an independent contractor, and mind you, they are entertainers. They are in the entertainment business. So how can you actually write a lot of those things off because you are an entertainer?
Yep. Because actually all of that could be a write-off because of the simple fact their costume, if they're paying to get their makeup done, a lot of them are doing their own makeup back there, but say they did pay, to get their makeup done for a show, the wig, all of that, because
you got to buy the makeup
of the show.
You got to buy the
makeup, all of that. Yeah. All of that would be considered cost of goods sold, kind of, right?
Their costumes.
Yeah.
Their
costumes, all of that.
Yeah.
because that's what you need to be able to perform, right? So people had wondered why Donald Trump was able to write off certain things when his taxes came out, like I think for the 26, I don't know if he had the show then, but I remember somebody talking about it or a post seeing about it. Like he was able to write off like hair, and wardrobe. And I'm like, yeah, like you mad at him, but technically you could do that too, being a business owner. It's in the tax code. And that's the difference and what we're talking about with learning money management and then working with professionals, right? That can show you things and ways for you to be able to utilize the legal tax codes that are in this country, but through your business. And so, yeah, they are technically independent contractors, but their field or area of expertise, is like you said, is entertainment.
Right.
So
That's
that
what entertainers. Yeah.
yeah,
That's all it is. And you explain it like in the IRS. I am in the entertainment business. What do you do? I do this. I dance, blah, blah. Okay. But I am an entertainer. Oh.
right.
And it
I need to do. If it's a need, if it is ordinary, if it is what ordinary and necessary. All right, let's roll.
that's it. Ordinary. That's what it says. Yeah.
Ordinary. That's what it says, and that's what people don't understand. We are reading and interpreting the law, right? If it's ordinary and necessary, is it necessary for them to have a G string on when they get up on that pole?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like that's a tax write-off for them.
So
But nobody's looking at it like that.
remember what the IRS is doing is G-string, other entertainers in your business are doing the same thing. That's necessary and that's ordinary.
Yep.
I cannot write off a G-string
Right.
because that's not necessary and ordinary in what I do.
Right.
See, big difference.
Yep.
See,
Each field has its own things that are more acceptable to the IRS for write-offs.
right.
Yeah.
And, what-
In industry, that's what I kept. For some reason, my mind went blank with the business industry.
and this is what tax code is all about: understanding tax codes. And the more you work with a reputable tax person, they will teach you this because that's their job.
Yeah.
To teach you, listen, this is what you can do, and this is what you can't do. And then you get frustrated, be like, well, the last guy said this. Okay, well, go right to the last guy. Go,
Yeah.
go, go to the last. Go right to the last guy.
I send the clients the publication and they never want to read it because when I send them the 500-page or 1,000-page publication, oh, I'm gonna send you the publication. I'm not gonna send you the page and highlight it for you. You know so much here. Go ahead. Okay, Mister. Okay, yeah. Here go. It's right here in the publication.
Got it.
It's written in black and white.
That's it. Okay. So that's what it all boils down to. Are there any questions? Are we good?
We good. No questions. This was a light one.
Yeah, it was light because they're gearing up for the last episode.
Finale. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So what we need you guys to do is we need you guys, if you're on YouTube, write in the comments, click, also hit that like button, guys. Write in the comments. Let us know what series or what movies you would like us to do, look at, so we can give you guys enough time to watch it. I have some categories myself. Like I said, the founder, the banker, the series called Startup. You guys,
Startup is the bomb. I don't know. I think we should start that one next, John. I think we should do that one.
it's your call. So this is what we're going to do. Next week, we'll finish up with PValley. That'll give people 2 weeks to get started with Startup. And it's 3 seasons. So we're going to be rocking Startup because there's a whole bunch of stuff for Startup.
A whole lot with Startup.
So,
A whole lot.
so okay, we Startup. So yes, so that's what we'll do. So that's on the agenda. Thursday nights, we'll send it out there. We can let you guys know, and that'll work. So remember, hit the like button, leave a comment. I'm on YouTube. No, I'm sorry. I'm on TikTok. Chuck Finance on TikTok. Chuck Finance on Instagram. Go ahead, follow me, hit me up. Do what you guys do. We're sending you some premium content out. I'll be expressing credit in the next couple of weeks, and I'm going to show you guys what credit really is and how it works and how to finagle the algorithms so that you can get a higher credit limit. I'm going to show that on my Instagram and my TikTok. So
Oh
you got
yeah, I'll be there for that one.
you got to be in the lab. You got to like with Haley, how she got into the room. You got to get into the room.
Get into the room.
You got to get into the room. Membership has its privileges. So we're going to start doing some things, and we're going to start narrowing down the room so people who are paid and who are serious, they're going to get some premium content that other people are not going to get. Membership has its privileges. We have to make sure, because one thing that I learned, and I told this to Patrice, is when you pay attention.
Yeah.
I learned that from somebody a couple of months ago. When you pay attention. And look at it this way: if you go to the movie and you pay $20, you pay attention to that movie. This is why what we want to make sure that you come, and you come with your pencil, you come with your pen, you come with your pad, and you're taking notes and you're learning. That's what it's all about. And you honor us by making sure that you take what we taught you and you implement it, and you come back and you tell us that you did, and you tell us how it worked out for you. So that's it. That's it, Sister Patrice.
All right. Well, we are done with this one then until next week and we should be on time next week. We had to push it back a little bit today, but next week we'll be on time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Got it. Cool. All right. Thank you.
All right, we out. See you later, Chuck.
Good night, everyone. Good night. Talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye.